All right. So I talked about when it comes to doctors and how they do their job and all that, and the difference between cystic fibrosis and different strands, and people with Down syndrome and how it's different. It works in a similar area to make you understand again. Best to speak it another way, simpler for people in areas where they don't need to be, but they want an answer. Right? And so you got to make things simpler, because you just make it complicated, they're just going to go with you and go, yeah, because they don't want to feel stupid. Right? But it's a little bit like, how do you sort out that field when it comes to medical certificates? Well, as far as I know, we sort it out to the worstest strand, or to the average. See, when I went out fruit picking, as I talked about, and they paid you by bucket, right, instead of by hour, they wanted to make if you didn't get enough buckets up for people who went slow, you got paid by bucket or by hour. So if you got to a certain bucket limit, you got paid by bucket and hour. So you got the hourly rate plus a bucket special for people who did more buckets. Right? And the people who did roughly the same amount of buckets could just get an hourly rate. Right? That's what they worked out. And so they work out an average. Right? And so most people do this. That's what we'll do. We'll keep it to that. It gets rid of all the arguments. Otherwise, if you don't, you end up getting a problem where people go, well, I've got this and I had to walk a little extra longer, like when it comes to grape picking and that. You might get a bad bush and stuff like that. He had all the good bushes. People were trying to fight over bushes when they just kept to the bucket rate. So they had to change it a little bit to the average hourly, where you got an hourly pay if you just plod along anything under 40 buckets. And if you got over 40 buckets, then you had to go against these other people. So if you got 50, you might still get the hourly rate and not much more. It was a little bit like that, so you'd rather just not overwork. If you're a person who can't overwork, don't. All right? And that's how they set it up. And people who work hard got the extra money and stuff like that. Right? As they got twice as much buckets, they end up getting twice as much in the end. If they got the higher part, and it was always like that, got twice as much hourly rate. So instead of getting $140 a day, like an hourly rate, $20 an hour for the 8 hours or whatever, they would get 200 and something. I earned up to $300 in a day at an 8-hour shift, roughly, to 9-hour shift, or a bit less, right? From working hard. Right? And I worked hard at that time because my health was good. I was finally like a normal person. So I made benefit of that. Right? That's what we do when we're sick. We don't skip making a benefit of something when you're always mostly sick. You know what I mean? But anyway, I thought I'd chuck that out. So have a good one and see you later.